Hello and welcome to TN Academy. Today we are doing question 3 where we're given the function f at x is equal to 1 minus 1 over x minus 2 where x is all real numbers and x cannot equal negative 2 or 2 rather, sorry. Now for question A, part I, we're first asked to find the vertical asymptote of this function f at x. And so to find the vertical asymptote, we either must find the case where our function f at x is where our denominator is equal to 0, or our function is undefined. And so for our function here, we can see that the first value is a constant, but if we look at the second term, negative 1 over x minus 2, we can see that this is undefined, right, when x is equal to 2, since 2 minus 2 would make this denominator equal 0. And so we can say that the vertical asymptote is at, or has the function x is equal to 2. So that will be the answer for question A. Now for question 2, we are asked to find the horizontal asymptote. So, to find the horizontal asymptote, first we look at our function, and we can see that for our second term, as x approaches positive or negative infinity, this term gets very small, and so we can say that our horizontal asymptote should then be at our constant term here, which is y is equal to 1. And then for part B of our questions, we're asked to find the y-axis, or rather the y-intercept and the x-intercept for our function. So for part I, we're asked when does f at x intersect with the y-axis, which would be our y-intercept, and which occurs when x is equal to 0. So we could see that when x is equal to 0, our function be 1 minus 1 over negative 2, so it's plus. So it just becomes 3 over 2. So our y-intercept is then 0 and 3 over 2. And then for our second part of this question, we're asked to find the x-intercept, which will occur when f at x, or y, is equal to 0. Then if we have 0 is equal to 1 minus 1 over x minus 2, we'll rearrange so that we can solve for x. So that we get 1 over x minus 2 is equal to 1. Multiply both sides by x minus 2. Then we get x minus 2 is equal to 1. And then we get, we subtract or add 2 to both sides. We get x is equal to 3. So our intercept is at 3, 0. Finally, for question C, we're asked to sketch the graph, sketch the graph, showing all the features we've found up above, which would be the vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and our two intercepts. So we can start, let's say, with our vertical and horizontal asymptote. So if we start at our vertical asymptote, it is at x is equal to 2. It's right there. And our horizontal asymptote occurs at y is equal to 1. Right there. Get another color, let's say purple, and I can mark down both of our intercepts. So our y-intercept occurs at 3/2, which should be right about here. And our x-intercept occurs at 3, and since these are asymptotes, our function will infinitely approach them without ever touching. As such, there. So our function should look something like that. And that is our answer to this question.